this is Jenny from A Journey with Jenny, and I'm so excited for today's episode of Crazy Grateful Asians. And I'm featuring my friend here, Shelly, who I met from Starting Block here in New York City. So super excited to be featuring her today, and just want to share her story. So Shelly, why don't you tell us, a little bit about yourself, and then, what in your upbringing has contributed to who you are?
Sure. So, hi, I'm Shelly. I am an immigrant. So I'm a first-generation Asian American. I'm also a first-generation college grad. I grew up homeless, so that is a really strong part of my identity. I'm also a woman, and I care a lot about minority rights, women's rights, and on top of that, just what it means to be Asian American in general, right? So I grew up what we call in third culture.
What does that mean to you? Tell us more about it.
So when I was growing up, it's like when I'm in China, and also to this day too, I went back to China about 2 years ago, and we were pretty much just shopping in general. And over there, I distinctly remember a merchant trying to jip me.
Yeah.
And it was at that moment that I realized that I'm not Chinese enough to be here, because they would use this word called jokseng, right? And it literally means like hollow bamboo, like empty bamboo.
Yeah.
So, and I'm just like, oh, okay, I don't belong here because I'm not Chinese enough.
Right.
And then when I'm in America, I'm not American enough. And so I belong in this weird space, so we call it limbo or third culture, and we're still trying to explore what it means to be Asian American.
Yeah. And so, can you talk a little bit more about what you said? Because when you said, like, you went through it so fast, but it's like so shocking. What did it mean to be growing up homeless? Like,
So growing up homeless, so to me at the time, it was just 5-year-old Shelly it was just bouncing around from home to home. That was at that time. And then I also realized that I didn't know what homeless meant at the time, because we were on the streets. However, we were also living in basements, and it was just not great, right? And I lived with my neighbors were rats and roaches that were just scouring across the walls. And growing up homeless really shaped me, right? Because I realized that even though if I have nothing, if I could focus on the things that I do have, it definitely changed my mindset, right? On top of that, it's like knowing that I am resilient, and that I am proud of homelessness. And homelessness, how did it craft me? So coming from nothing, I know that I have nothing to lose when I do dive into something new, and it's just like, I know how it feels to have nothing, so what do I have to lose?
Right.
And then, however, there's the other side of it, where it's just like, oh my gosh, I know how it feels to have nothing.
Right.
And so I don't want to go back to that. So it's just this weird dichotomy that I have to learn how to balance. And sometimes when that scarce mindset, when that voice comes up, I have to learn how to say, shut up. You are not homeless anymore. You've overcome it. Yeah. And there are so many other aspects of your life that's just so rich, right? Like my relationships, my friends, like Starting Block, right? And or my work ethic. And so so that's how homelessness really shaped me. I wouldn't say that it's this like, oh, woe is I. No, it's honestly, dare I say, one of the best things that happened to me. Because I can tell people that, hey, just because you come from a low socioeconomic background, it doesn't mean that it defines your future, right? So use that to inspire others to say, hey, this is where I come from, and it's okay, right? And on top of that, it really hopefully it springboards my story into action, and hopefully it also inspires others to take action and to let them know that their circumstances don't define them.
And do you mind me just, diving into this a little bit more? Like, what were the circumstances? Like, why were you guys homeless? Like, did you not have family here? Like, what brought you guys here?
So, my mom is she is my everything, right? And so my mom used to work in corporate, and she comes from a very, very wealthy family, right?
Wow.
But my dad, on the other hand, didn't. And so my dad and my mom, they got married, and my dad's family, they immigrated from Hong Kong to Ellis Island. And back then, if you were from Hong Kong, that means you had wealth.
Right.
So, but my dad was also a huge gambler, right? So he pretty much gambled away all our money, and my mom came from a very wealthy family, and so my grandmother and grandfather gave my mom a set of just like emergency money.
Yes.
And so he gambled it away.
Wow.
And so I've experienced like the police coming to knock on my door and saying, hey, you're getting evicted. Like, why are you not leaving your house?
Wow.
Or coming to like look for my dad.
Yeah.
And so to literally pack all my stuff in a hefty bag, you know, those like black trash bags, and I was very, very young, and I remember this like distinctively. I was crying, and I'm like, Mom, like, why are we leaving?
Right.
And she's like, I don't remember what she said, but I remember her just saying, we have to go, don't worry, I will find another place to live.
Yeah.
And so eventually we did, but we just kind of couch surfed, and we lived in the most horrible places because I don't blame the landlords, because it's like, who would want to rent a place to a single mother of children who were toddlers, right?
Yeah.
And so that's how I'm homeless. It's my dad. End of story. He's trying to do better now, but at the same time, it did leave some scars, and over time, I really had to learn how to undo the scarcity mindset, and then on top of that, understand, okay, I have to take these steps in order to emotionally heal myself, and to make sure that these open wounds scab and they heal.
And wow, so like incredible like story background of what. I mean, my mind is blown. Like, you know, that's crazy. What were some of the things that helped to shape you to who you are now? Like, how did you overcome that adversity and then get to this point where, like, you know, you're able to be successful in life and your career? Like, what were some of the things that helped you along the way?
Yeah, so definitely a lot of reading, because growing up, my mom worked. Oh my gosh. I thought a normal job was like 7 days a week, 16 hours a day, like what are paid vacations? And so because my mom worked so much, to this day, I don't know how to swim. I don't know how to ride a bike.
Right.
Because while kids are at summer camp and doing this and doing that, my mom was working, and so I had to, like, my summer vacations, like, we lived vicariously through books.
Yeah.
And so I loved to read. And so growing up, I remember it was in the 5th grade, and my teachers were like, you know when you go back to school and you're like, what did you do this summer? And I'm like, I fought dragons. And my teacher's like, very funny. And I'm like, no, I really did. But so reading books, like my favorite book in high school, it was called The Last Lecture by Dr. Randy Pausch.
Yes.
And so and so like that's how I learned life skills, right? Like the significance of writing a note, like a thank you note, the significance of achieving your dreams. And so my mentors were like Dr. Marie Curie, who else? Like Helen Keller. And so all these amazing women, the notorious RBG, right? So it's like, so that's how they shaped me. I had to be really resourceful, and that's another thing about growing up poor, you become really resourceful.
Right.
I had to get resources from outside, but at the same time, something that my mom taught me that I couldn't get from other resources. It's to see how hard my mom works to provide food on the table for us, right? So my mom worked so hard that she right now she has really bad arthritis, and that she has an ulcer because. So growing up, I never thought I was poor, like money wise,
right?
Because I'm like, oh, I always had like new school supplies and or like new clothes, and to me, I'm like, wow, I'm so lucky to have new clothes. And when I say new clothes, it's like the Salvation Army or we just throw out clothes like in those like donation bins, right? And so I was always grateful for whatever I had. And my mom has always taught me that always be grateful for whatever you have.
Yeah.
And so that she's taught me humility, mercy, grace, gratitude, and then to see how hard she works, right? Yeah. She really taught me the value of a dollar bill and how hard I have to work for it.
Yeah.
And she's like, whether you're a janitor or a CEO, you better make sure you give 110%, even when nobody's looking.
Yeah.
And so that's how I learned to not only work hard, but make sure I also love what I do, because my mom gave up so much in China to come to America
Right.
to give me a better life that I don't want her sacrifice to go to waste.
So you talked about how like you're the first to graduate from college from your family.
Yeah.
So like, do you want to talk about that a little bit? Like,
Sure.
what were some of your experiences like throughout college? How did like your identity impact that? And then, how did you choose? You know, what you want to do with your career afterwards?
Sure. So I was a stereotypical, I'm going to become a doctor, because my mom was like, it'll be so great to have a doctor in the family,
Yeah.
which translates to I gave up so much.
Yeah.
It would be nice if you paid it forward to become a doctor. And I'm like, sure, Mom.
Yeah.
And at that moment, so I didn't know what I didn't know, right?
Yes.
I couldn't shadow, like I couldn't just like intern being I don't know, like a lawyer or just any other job prospects. So what I did was that I was like, oh my gosh, okay, I have to be a doctor because financial success equals happiness, right?
Yeah.
And my mom already put that together for me. And
Yeah.
I didn't know what else was out there,
Yeah.
and this was a safe route because I knew what classes to take. I knew the route. I took the MCATs, and so it was very, like, the path was already paved.
Yeah.
I hated every second of it. I hated every second of it.
Yeah.
But what it taught me in college was that it taught me resilience.
Yeah.
I really had to find my voice in college because I was so shy. I would not speak up for myself, and I realized that. I remember it was organic chemistry. I got a D-.
Oh wow.
A D-.
Yeah.
It was like half a step from like an F.
Yeah.
And my professor's like, in my 30 years of teaching, he wasn't like Southern, but he was like, in my 30 years of teaching, I have never gotten a student with a D, like below a D, who passed Orgo 2.
Yes.
And I'm like, sir.
And that's a tough class.
I know. I was like, sir, if I get an A on your first exam, please let me stay.
Yeah.
I busted my butt, and I had to like go up to him and face my fears and face this like Harvard professor, right? I remember him saying like his background, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, you're too smart, and so face that, and then I had to study, and I had to learn, I had to relearn how to learn.
Yeah.
And being Asian, everything is quantified, right?
Yeah.
So like, and like your weight, your GPA, how much money you make,
Yeah.
just like a big stamp on your forehead.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is the person I am.
Yes.
And
there's so much pressure to like have these kind of
Right.
things like define who we are.
Exactly. And so I was just like, no, there are other things that define me, like how kind I am and how thoughtful I am.
Right.
And so after that, that's when I'm like, okay, this test is just a test. I vomited like literally 30 minutes before my exam.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was partially due to like the 5 Red Bulls I had.
Oh my god.
But
yeah.
I got an A.
Okay,
And he was
wow.
like, well, I'll be. And
Yeah.
so that's what really, really shaped me. And I also had to learn how to find my niche, right?
Yes.
And because all my life, I wanted to fit in, right?
Yeah.
I changed my Chinese name from Shuyi to Shelly. And that also ties back into third culture, where I'm just like, when I was younger, I got bullied for my name. And because Shuyi, it means a precious gift, right? But I didn't. Oh, thank you. Yeah. But I didn't know what it meant when I was like in 5th grade.
Yeah.
And I remember the kids were going like, "Your mom named you after a shoe," and I'm like, "No, she didn't." So I came home crying. I'm like, "Why can't I be named like Tiffany or Brianna?" And to this day, I'm so glad I didn't change my name to like Tiffany or Brianna.
Yeah.
But I Americanized my name to Shelly, and so it's like, I don't really connect with Shelly because I don't know what it means.
Yeah.
I think it means like the clearing by the meadow, and I'm just like, I don't really care.
Yeah.
But people call me that, right?
Yeah.
And Shuyi, it's the name that I was given,
Yes.
and only my mom calls me that.
Yeah.
So I don't really fit into like either or, and I'm trying to find that balance, right? So yeah, going back to college, I really had to, like, it was transformational because I went from a 1.9. I joined a sorority because I wanted to fit in, right?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Joined a sorority. What happened was that I became a Christian
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So what happened was that one of my friends, Peter,
Yeah.
he was like, "Oh, you should come to this party," and I'm like, "I'm good. It's Thirsty Thursday." It was a Thursday. We had like 8 a.m. physics class together, and I was like, "It's Thirsty Thursdays. I'm going downtown." And he's like, "There's a party uptown," and I'm like, "Okay, fine. If you shut up, I'll go."
Yeah.
So I went, and I was like, "Hey guys, where's the party?" And it was like Bibles everywhere, and I'm like, "Oh no!"
Wow.
I got
he didn't
tricked.
tell you.
He didn't tell me. I had no idea.
Yeah.
And
And were you religious at all?
no, I was
Okay.
like, you guys are way too holy for me. Like, I can't, like, I don't belong here, right? And then, but I realized that these people were really genuine,
Yeah.
right? And so, like, now looking back, like, they gave me the resources and tools I need, and they welcomed me with open arms, right? They didn't judge me at all. And so now as a Christian, I do the same, right?
Yeah.
It's like, I don't really care what religion you are. I don't really care if you're like blue, purple, orange, right? I'll love you either way, and it's like no matter how many times you screw up, just like I did back then, I will still reciprocate that love, and I will provide you with the tools and resources you need to like pull you up from the ground. So
that's so heartwarming. I mean, what was the personal like transformation that you feel like you went through to like get to that point to like really accept yourself for who you are?
So I didn't accept myself in college at all. Long story short, I graduated with 3.7. But that 3.7 still, that was still like, I did it, right?
Yeah.
And also,
did you take all the classes to become a doctor?
I did. I totally did. I graduated with a human bio major, and then after that, I was like, screw this, and that's when I realized. After I graduated, I was like, okay, Shelly, you're gonna become a doctor. I remember sitting down and researching the MCAT and like what's the best score in MCAT? What just like the logistics of an MCAT. And I was just like, oh my gosh, this is what I have to do. And I'm like, I hate people complaining to me, right? Like extensively. I don't like hospitals, and I don't like. I just really don't like blood.
Yeah.
And
how are you gonna become a doctor?
I know, right? And that was when I'm just like, oh my gosh, I should probably become a doctor.
Yeah.
And so I sat there and I'm just like, what the hell am I supposed to do? And I really had to do a lot of like soul searching, right?
Yeah.
And I had to buckle down and tap back into like the little Shelly's like resilience, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, I now have nothing. And I was unemployed. I'm out of college, I'm unemployed.
Yeah.
I don't know what the hell I was doing. And I started looking. I had nothing, and I'm like, okay, well, this is how it feels.
Yeah.
And once you hit rock bottom, the only way to go is up, right?
Yeah.
And that's when I researched, and that's when I like had to sit down and say, what do I want to do if money wasn't an issue? And that was to help others. And like, okay, so who, right? Because it's like, in an ideal world, I can help everybody, but you know, I'm not Bill Gates status yet. So, and I'm like, okay, I want to give back to those who were like me, who were high achieving low income students, and that also want to achieve their dreams, but just didn't know how.
Yeah.
And so now, and that's where I am now. I am back at the organization called Minds Matter that served me when I was homeless and when I was younger.
Wow.
And my mentors, who are also Asian American women, they were the ones that were like, you need to speak up, because if you don't speak up, no one else is going to for you. And I learned that, and I'm still learning that too. So echoing your question of when did I learn self-acceptance? As an Asian American, like I struggled so much, like just accepting myself, like my weight, right? Because I can't be 5'6" and like 90 pounds. That's like impossible. Or my salary, right? I'm not making $200K a year. I'm a nonprofit. And everything else that comes with the stigma. But I realized it's just this past year. After my breakup, I was engaged, and I broke it off because it was a toxic relationship. And I'm just like, I should accept myself for who I am. There's nothing wrong with me. And after my breakup, there was this time where I'm just like, everything is wrong with me, because he would love me or we would still be in love if there's something wrong with me, right? And after that, I'm just like, so after like a couple months of sulking, I'm like, you're Shelly Zhou or Shelly Zhou. You can overcome anything. What the hell are you doing just sitting there like with your blanket crying. Like, you have a job.
Yes.
You're not starving.
Right.
You have a family.
Yeah.
You have income.
Yeah.
Like, there's so much that I'm breathing. I'm living. I can speak.
Right.
I can hear.
Yeah.
What am I doing, right? And so I just one day I literally got up and I'm like, I'm gonna be a badass, and I'm gonna do whatever the hell I want to do, right? And so I felt like it was like dark room, like or just this room, right? And half of it was like black, and then the other half was just like sunny. And I felt like I was just standing with my back facing the sunny side.
Yeah.
All I had to do was just turn around.
Yeah.
Right? That's all I do.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, oh my gosh, it is so sunny. There's a window, right? The birds are chirping. And so with that mindset, I'm just like, I am beautiful.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like,
you are a badass.
I am a
Yeah.
badass, right? And I'm just like, I am a badass. And I look at myself in the mirror and I'm just like, damn, right?
Yeah.
Like, I can do whatever I
Yes.
want. I can do whatever I set my mind to, and I've accomplished so much
Yeah.
that someone will come and love me just the way I am, and I don't have to change.
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
of course, that takes a lot, and
Yeah.
I couldn't have done it without community, without like
Yeah.
my girlfriends and my guy
Yeah.
friends that would
Yeah.
check in on me and say, hey, like, how you doing? Or like let's go out and either like to a cafe and just talk about things, and because you can't do it alone. And I really encourage those who are in a deep state of depression and anxiety, which I do have, to reach out, right? Don't be shy. Don't think that you're burdening them, because as women, we're like, oh my gosh, we're sorry to bother you.
Yeah.
No, true friends, they're like, you're not bothering me, first of
Right.
all, and second of all, you're worth it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. So, I mean, you were talking about like this women empowerment then. In what ways has your culture, your identity shaped that, and like what do you do as a result of like wanting to empower other women?
yeah, so I grew up in so my mom really battled like, should I raise them as Americans?
Yeah.
Should I raise them as Asians? And
Yeah.
so I feel like growing up I looked at the I wouldn't say negatives, but like, you know, there's certain memories that sticks with you,
Yes.
and it's usually the bad memories,
Yeah.
or the more traumatic memories are the bad
Yes.
ones, right? So I remember it was just like, growing up Asian American, it's like, once again, everything's just quantified, right? And you're supposed to be, it's like, when it comes to fight or flight, you fly, you do not stay and fight. Don't cause a scene. Be very elegant and poised,
Right.
and don't cross the line, because there's a line that has to be crossed. And you're supposed to float down on a chair. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, at the end of the day, I'm exhausted.
Yeah.
If I want to just plop my ass down on the chair, I will do that.
Yeah.
Right? And so after being criticized, being in a traditional Asian household, of my weight, my GPA, and everything that makes up like who I am, and also growing up American, where it's just like, follow your dreams, and being in an Asian household, it's like, don't follow your dreams,
Right.
follow whatever makes the money, right?
Yeah.
I really had to learn how to balance, like take the good side,
Yeah.
like from my Chinese upbringing, and the Chinese were very, very big on community.
Yeah.
Big on community,
Yeah.
right? Americans were more into like our privacy, right? And so, and food is like, the culture and the food, it is so rich.
Yeah.
And it's like, and I remember going on Sunday to like sick dim sum, right? To like
Yeah.
go dim sum with my family, and we talk about our week, and there's like, and just our like our language too. There's so much like richness in our history and our culture, and I'm trying to take that,
Yeah.
and then and the love of learning, the love of books, and so take that, which is like all the good parts about being Chinese,
Yeah.
and on top of that, the good parts about being an American, right? Where it's just like,
Yeah.
as a woman, I can
Right.
be as loud as I want.
Yeah.
I should be heard,
Yeah.
and I can be heard, and I do deserve a seat at the table. If
Yes.
not, I'll just grab my own chair, and
There
I'll,
you
like,
go.
well, excuse me.
Yeah.
And self-care and self-love, because there's not enough in the Asian community. I realize that in the Asian community, it's like, you need to work your butt off and like drive yourself to the ground because that's how people see like, wow, they're working really hard. And sometimes self-care doesn't look like that. Self-care sometimes looks like, hey, you tried your best today, and there's always tomorrow, and the day after that, and the day after that. But as long as you tried your best, that's one thing that you should be proud of.
Yeah, that's so not in the Asian mindset.
Yeah. Oh no, of course not. No. Yeah, definitely not.
I mean, so like you were just saying, so I have a couple of spitfire questions I want to ask you. They're just like fun ones, giving your snap answer. So what's your favorite food?
Yeah, so I love, oh my gosh, my favorite food. I love honey walnut shrimp.
Oh, yes.
Or in Chinese, oh, my Chinese is so bad, by the way. I speak like Chinglish.
That's okay.
It's like, it's just like jumbo shrimp. It's like deep fried with like this like sweet, creamy sauce with like candied walnuts. I think it's like hakao hakao. I think that's how you say it. Yeah. But I speak very, very bad Chinese, by the way.
So. But I know that dish you're talking about, and it's amazing.
So good. We always have it when we go to dinner. Yes. And I'm just like,
what about your favorite drink?
Yeah. I love Meg Be Nice.
Oh,
okay. Yeah. I think it's called like Kodosa. Yeah. I love Meg Be Nice.
Okay. Yum. And then, what's your favorite movie?
Okay. So recently, it's Crazy Rich Asians. I know the one we saw together, yesterday. But my favorite movie, it'll be either Midnight in Paris.
Okay.
Have you seen that one?
No, actually I haven't.
It's really good. It's like Owen Wilson, by the way, but not in a comedy role. Which he's really, really good in it. Yeah. Or La La Land.
Okay.
Yeah. But I really recommend Midnight in Paris.
Okay, cool. And I know you kind of mentioned your favorite book from like high school, but like, do you have a different favorite book or?
Yeah. So at the moment, it is Beloved by Toni Morrison.
Ooh, I love her. Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I feel like that one's a very like empowering one for women.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, definitely. Like the themes about her daughter and how her daughter dies, like it's insane, and it really shows the strength, like, and power of a mother.
Yeah. So. Oh yes. And then, what is your spirit animal?
I'll probably say like a koi fish.
Oh, okay. Why?
Yeah. So in Asian culture, koi fishes, depending on what color the koi is, so like black means resilience, like red means like matriarchy / like mother of the family, very caring. I think yellow means friendship, and like I forgot what white means. But the koi fish swims upstream. When the kois swim upstream, they have to battle so much, like the currents and everything against us, right? But when they reach out there, in Asian mythology, they turn to dragons.
Oh, powerful!
So that is why the koi fish is my spirit animal.
That's amazing. I did not know that.
Yeah,
that's so cool.
The more you know.
Yeah. And then, what do you think is your superpower?
So I would definitely say resilience. Yeah. I know it's so obvious from my story, but unless you've gone through, just like when you've gone through so much, and you're like stuck in this like pit of like despair, and there's like no light, you kind of just have to grab a rock and grab, I don't know, some like a stick and just start like making, like sparking your own, like igniting your own flame, because no one else is gonna do it for you when you're down there. And I had to do that multiple times, and that really showed me that anything I tackle in the future, I can make something out of nothing. So
that is so powerful. So then the last question I want to ask you is just, what words of wisdom do you want to give about being this crazy grateful Asian? Like,
of course. So I would definitely want to pass on the words of wisdom that my mentors passed on to me when I was in high school. Being the shy Asian girl that I was, it's to speak up for yourself, because no one else is going to do so for you. And so be your own advocate, because you know yourself best and you deserve better.
So beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing your story with us. I mean, it really is so amazing, and it's, like, it's crazy, right? Like, these stories, they are not typical. Like, if you were an American family and these kind of things happened to you, you should have been taken out of like social services and put in like a foster care or something like that, right? So it's like, to be homeless and not have that anything to root you. I mean, it's just like, so it's so wonderful to see, you know, who you're becoming, who you've become, and like the work that you want to be doing to inspire others. So I'm going to share Shelly's information below so you can be in touch with her, learn more about her. So again, Shelly, thank you so much for joining us.
And for having me. I'm so excited to be a part of this. I'm crazy, I'm grateful, and I'm Asian.
Yeah, exactly. So
perfect.
Thank you again for joining us for this episode of Crazy Grateful Asians. Bye.